Now let me take you back to 1983, the year that the Nintendo Famicom came out in Japan, before arriving in America 2 years later as the Nintendo Entertainment System, more commonly referred to as the NES. Now we all know the NES to be a classic gaming console that revolutionized the video game market with its expansive library of classic games and retro fashion. That was 30 years ago, on July 15th. But wait a minute, isn't today July 15th? That's right. Today we're going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the NES. What better way to do that but than by counting down the best games of the system. Now, there's so many classic games for the NES that a regular top 10 list just won't do. Neither will a top 20. So we're going to the max. That's right, a top 30. Well, technically the max could mean 40, 50, 100, heck even 1,000. But we're just going to stick with 30. Now, let me clarify some things for this list. First of all, I'm going to make this into a 3-part list. I'm not going to do all 30 games in one shot because, well, just to make it easier on myself, and I don't think anyone really wants to watch like a 30-minute video of, no, even higher than 30 minutes, I guess, of like 30 NES games. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get on with it. This is part 1 of RocketBomberAndyb's top 30 NES games, numbers 30 through 21. Here we go. Duck Hunt is a simple game with a simple name. What do? Well, you hunt ducks. It's not exactly rocket science, but it doesn't make the game any less fun. Armed with your trusty NES zapper, you shoot your way through countless duck after duck, racking up points and just having a grand old time. Now, there's not much more I can really say about Duck Hunt. Like I said, it's not exactly rocket science, but it is still a fun game, earning it the number 30 spot on this list. So coming in at number 29, we have Tetris. Now, Tetris is a classic puzzle game. Everybody knows it. So, in Tetris, you stack shapes and get points and go into the next level where you do the exact same thing. And, it keeps going on, and yeah, never ends. So, yeah. That's, Tetris for you. And, okay, I got nothing. But, yeah, how could you blame me? I don't have much to say about Tetris. Think about it. It's Tetris. It's not like it's Final Fantasy VII. It's not that complicated. I mean, jeez, why am I even putting this on the list? I don't know. I just thought of good NES games. I know a lot of people like Tetris, and I thought, okay, fine, I'm just gonna put this somewhere on the list. I don't care if it's low on the list, I'm just gonna put it somewhere. I mean, yeah, sure, Tetris isn't a bad game, but, like, you probably get bored with it after, like, 5 minutes of playing. And you know what? I've been lengthening the time of number 29 for too long. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna move on with my life and move on with this list. And I'm gonna do that right now. So, number 29 is Tetris, people. Moving on. Okay, now let me get one thing straight here. Yes, I understand that Castlevania 2 was a big disappointment compared to Castlevania 1, due to its difficulty, all the grinding you had to do, and because of all the stupid cryptic parts I had, like kneeling next to the wall with the red crystal, and you have to wait for 10 seconds and a tornado brings you to another area, or having to jump with the music to reach a platform. Yeah, I know, it was really stupid. But it was still a decent game, I mean, aside all the problems. I mean, the reason it had all these problems was because it tried to do something that no other game at the time tried to do, adding RPG elements to action side-scrolling. Now, it was a good idea on paper, it just wasn't executed as well as it could have been, because, like I said, it was a new thing at the time. But there were still good factors about the game. I mean, the graphics were nice and detailed, and the music was pretty cool, especially Bloody Tears, one of my favorite 8-bit tunes of all time. So, even though Castlevania 2 is flawed, it did have an excuse, and it didn't stop it from being enjoyable, earning it the number 28 spot on this list. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one of the most popular cartoon series of the 80s, so there's no surprise that a video game was made about it. In 1989, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES. Now, most people thought, similar to Castlevania 2, it was a disappointment. But unlike Castlevania 2, it didn't have an excuse. It was only a side-scroller, nothing more, nothing less. But if you look back on the game now, it's not as bad as you think it is, and actually can be quite enjoyable. I mean, the graphics and music were fine, the controls were good, you got to play as all 4 turtles, which at the time, believe it or not, was actually groundbreaking, and you got a lot of different weapons to take down your enemies, which gives the game variety. I mean, maybe back then you thought the game sucked because it didn't live up to your expectations, but maybe if you look back on it now, given the TMNT nostalgia you'll get from it, you'll find this game to be actually good. Or at least okay. Mario's back, but this time it's a little different. Instead of jumping on turtle shells and saving the Mushroom Kingdom from the evil Bowser, this time Mario's checking into this quirky, colorful puzzle game. Now, Dr. Mario, unlike other puzzle games at the time, like Tetris, sorry about that, is frantic, fun, and just overall entertaining. Using different multicolored vitamins to ward off fevers and chills, while listening to some seriously catchy music alongside you, made Dr. Mario a very memorable experience. But the single player wasn't just memorable, the multiplayer was seriously radical and very intense, making this select title on our list not only a great NES classic, but my favorite puzzle game of all time. Now, you've probably played a hard game in your life, it's a given, but sometimes there are those certain games that take the difficulty one step further. Ghosts and Goblins is a game of that sort. I mean, this game is crazy difficult. I mean, yeah, sure, it's only 6 levels long, but trust me, don't let it fool you. Just because this game is 6 levels long, don't think it's easy. It is the most difficult 6 levels you were ever going to play in your life. I mean, you're just constantly onslaught by so many stereotypical horror elements like ghosts, goblins, ghouls, devils, and unicorns. It's like a nightmare you can't wake up from. But just because the game's hard doesn't mean it can't be good. Ghosts and Goblins, once again, was a game of that sort. It had good platformer mechanics, the music was extremely catchy, and it was like a constant battle between all the things that scared us during our childhoods. You had to show those Ghosts and Goblins, I'm the man, you listen to me. And this game is actually surprisingly fair for a game extremely hard. You got unlimited continues, and you got to keep the weapon you had before you died, even if you get the game over. Well, then again, you do have to play the entire game twice after you beat it without any indication that you have to. So this game is somewhat fair, earning it the number 25 spot on this list. Poor Hudson Soft, they may be gone, but they're surely not forgotten. So let's look back on one of the most popular games for the NES, Adventure Island 3. Why exactly Adventure Island 3, you ask? Well, I don't know. Something about Adventure Island 3 really shouts out to me, hey look, I'm better than Adventure Island 1 and 2, play me right now, because you can... Yeah, it exactly told me those words coming out of the cartridge, and I'm just making up things. Anyway, Adventure Island 3 has you controlling the chubby and lovable Master Higgins on his quest to save his girlfriend Tina from aliens. Alongside you, you have tomahawks, boomerangs, magically appearing fruit, and dinosaurs. And let's be honest here, come on. Who doesn't want to ride on dinosaurs? I mean, that's every kid's dream. If someone tells you riding on dinosaurs is stupid, tell them they're stupid. They're just jealous they never ridden a dinosaur before. Okay, maybe that's because dinosaurs are extinct nowadays, but that's just a small factor. That's probably just a lie. They're probably just hiding under the earth because they're scared of us. I don't see why they would, but you never know. Things happen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, somehow translates to why I love Adventure Island 3. Somehow. So, nowadays you've probably heard of Pit the Angel, due to his appearance in Super Smash Bros. And his most recent title, Kid Icarus Uprising for the 3DS. But back in the days of NES, when he was known as Kid Icarus, he was just another obscure video game character in a game that's very overlooked nowadays. So in Kid Icarus, you play as the formerly mentioned Pit. Armed with his trusty bow and arrow, he sets out to stop the evil snake goddess Medusa, and her evil minions such as snakes, eggplant wizards, eyeballs, and reapers, just to name a few. You also collect hearts from monsters and use them to buy different types of weapons to aid you on your quest. Huh, so I guess there is another game besides Castlevania 2 to use hearts as currency. What do you know? But to be completely honest, there's not much more I can say about Kid Icarus. I never got really far in the game, and I don't know if there's anything I'm missing to say about it. But needless to say, I still like Kid Icarus, and I hope to see Pit's success expand in the future. You know, compared to today's Batman games like Batman Arkham City and the upcoming Arkham Origins, Batman on the NES may not seem like much, but it was dark, stylized, and overall pretty awesome. In this game, you play as the Dark Knight himself, fighting your way through bad guy after bad guy, using different array of Batman weapons, such as batarangs, these metal blade looking things, a gun, etc., on your way to the Joker. You know, Batman on the NES was one of those games that you feel really fulfilled once you beat it, because it was a pretty hard game, and being the Joker makes you feel that one day, maybe I can put on a ridiculous batsuit and fight crime in a flashy fashion. Or just watch some guy do it on TV. But with all my random stuff I'm saying to the side, Batman on the NES was still a pretty fun experience, and overall a good game that I recommend you play if you're into a good challenge. Or if you just like Batman. It's everybody's favorite pink puffball, Kirby, and he's back in this timeless classic for the NES, in the form of Kirby's Adventure. I feel like this game is an important part of Kirby history for adding on to the Kirby engine that we all know and love today, by adding in from the previous game, bright colors, more stages, and most of all, Kirby's trademark ability, aside from inhaling things, copying abilities. Granting Kirby awesome abilities to take down his fearsome foes, the monstrous of monsters that make you tremble at the sound of their name, such as Waddle Dee, the fearsome Poppy brother, and the evil Sparky Spark, or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, Kirby's Adventure isn't only fun, it makes you feel good inside. I don't know what it is about, it just warms your heart up. Well, I mean, besides the fact that you're killing off everyone in Dreamland for the sake of getting stronger, but hey, that's a small price to pay. I mean, am I right? Am I right? Okay, probably not, like most things in my life. But anyway, that doesn't change the fact that Kirby's Adventure is still a fun game, and my favorite on this list. Well, at least for part 1, that is. Tune in next week for part 2 of RocketBomberAndyb's Top 30 NES Games. See y'all next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. And if you're interested in seeing more of my work, then you can click some of the videos in the annotations in front of you. Yeah, no, I mean, they're pretty good, kind of. So, I don't know, they're a pretty decently amount of okay. Kind of, sort of, okay, to an extent, just whatever. Just go watch my videos and have a grand old time. See you later.